Antonia, thanks.
Right now in Decision 2018, more votes are being tallied and new results are coming in for the Senate race.
Bram Resnick is live in the Alert Center. And Bram, what are you hearing?
Big news, Mark. Kyrsten Sinema appears to be well on her way to being our next U.S. Senator, the first female to hold the job. Maricopa County just minutes ago dropping about 19,000 ballots. We have 3 sets of ballots in 3 counties today. As of now, Kyrsten Sinema leads Republican Martha McSally by 38,000 votes. There you go. Those are the latest numbers you're looking at right now. Kyrsten Sinema leading Martha McSally by 38,000 votes. Why is that important? It's because Kyrsten Sinema has increased her lead every day for the last 6 days since election night. She was behind by 8,000 on election night. She now is ahead by 38,000. The counties that are left to count favor Kyrsten Sinema, favor Democrats. Democrats have been trending very well in those counties. Martha McSally would have to win about 58 to 60% of the remaining vote to tie Kyrsten Sinema. The math obviously is not on Martha McSally's side. Also want to go to the Secretary of State's race. That is the #2 job in Arizona, second to the governor. If the governor vacates their position, the Secretary of State becomes governor. Remember that as I read you these numbers. Democrat Katie Hobbs. This is an astonishing 50,000 vote turnaround from election night. She was behind by 44,000 votes on election night. Katie Hobbs, Democrat, now leads Republican Steve Gaynor by 5,600 votes. Same story with Katie Hobbs as it was with Kyrsten Sinema. The counties, the ballots left to count are on the Democrat side right now. It is hard to imagine, even as close as that Secretary of State's race is, just that 5,600, 6,000 vote spread. Hard to imagine Steve Gaynor can come back with the number of ballots left to count. Let's send it back to you.
All right, Bram, thanks.